Hello children, welcome to AIMS India's online classes. This biology section. In this session, we are going to start a new lesson, transportation, the circulatory system. You learned already the basics of this circulatory system in your lower classes. Let us know more about this transport system. Let us proceed. All living organisms need nutrients, gases, liquids, etc. for growth and maintenance of the body. Okay, all living organisms require nutrients, gases, liquids. For what purpose? For growth and maintenance of the body. Next, all the organisms would need to send these materials to all parts of their body where whatever may be that organism, whether it is unicellular or multicellular, the above materials must be sent to the cells. If it is single cell, within that cell, or in multicellular organisms, for every cell, that materials must be submitted. For example, in unicellular organisms, these may not have to be transported to longer distances, while in multicellular forms have to be sent substances to long distances, as far as even up to over 100 feet for the tallest plant on the earth. Okay, here we are comparing. This is a common statement. In unicellular organisms, within that cell, the substances may not be needed to transport it for long distances. But in multicellular organisms like plants and animals, it must be transported to long distances. For example, if you take a long tree, a eucalyptus or a rosewood tree, 100 feet for the tallest plants on the earth also, this transportation is must and should. In lower organisms like amoeba, hydra, all the materials are transported through a simple process like diffusion, osmosis. Okay, in unicellular organisms like amoeba, the transport of substances takes place by through the body surface. It is called diffusion. In higher animals with trillions of cells in their body, adopt the method of diffusion and osmosis only for the bulk movement of materials would takes years. Okay, the meaning is, in multicellular organisms like higher plants and animals, their body is made up of trillions of cells. If this process of diffusion or osmosis, it may not help to distribute to every cell of the body. It may take much time. Okay, so there is a need for separate mechanism. Okay, to avoid delay, a separate system is needed to carry the materials much faster and more efficiently. Okay, to avoid delay, the materials must be carried in time and must be carried very fast and more efficiently. So there is a separate system is needed. So this specialized system, the specialized system that is developed by organisms is called circulatory system. The circulatory system or transport system. We eat solids, we drink liquids, we breathe gases. Do you think that it is possible to transport all the three types of materials through a single system. We eat different types of materials, we drink different types of liquids, okay, we breathe the gases. Do you think it is possible to transport all these three types of materials through a single system? This is the question. Okay, so let us study how this circulation is carried out in our body. So here listen carefully, children. Have you ever observed a doctor holding the wrist of the patient and looking at his watch for a minute? What is that he is trying to find out from the watch and the wrist of the patient? You may wonder to know that he is counting the heartbeat of the patient. Don't you think that it is crazy? Holding the hand to count the heartbeat? Definitely. To understand this, let us go through with an activity, a simple activity. Okay, that is pulse rate. The activity 1. You can also do this activity to yourself. You could try to find out for yourself what the doctor was doing. Keep your index and middle finger just like here, it is mentioned in the diagram, and the middle finger on your wrist below the thumb as shown in this figure. So what did you feel? You have to question yourself, you have to answer. You feel something pushing your fingers rhythmically up and down, so concentration is required. Okay, you need to observe. Now let us count the rhythm, which is called the pulse, for a minute. For a minute means for 60 seconds how many times it is beating. Now stand up and jog for 1 minute at the same time. Note the pulse for a minute. So you jog, run fast and come back and again count. Take the reading at least 2 of your parents in the same manner and record the following table. Here the table is given. Okay, serial number, yours, your father's or your mother's or any of your friends or relatives, 3 members you have to, or if you select a different age group also, it's well and good. Okay, first you count at rest how much it is, then after jogging for 1 minute, then you count. Okay, definitely you will find the difference. Okay, at rest, so what did you observe? Is the pulse rate same in both conditions, at rest and after jogging? No, definitely you find the difference. Okay, by doing this activity, you will be knowing the rate of pulse and the rate of heartbeat is similar. Okay, you might have observed the doctor also observing, they will use stethoscope and hear the sound of the heart and observe the time. So similarly, this pulse rate and the heartbeat are same. Okay, at rest it is nearly 70 to 80 times. Okay, here per minute, per minute. It may be after jogging, it may increase up to more compared to this, it may be more. 100 to 120 or 110 per minute per 60 seconds. Means what does it mean? There is a difference in the pulse rate per minute at rest and after jogging. Okay, let us do another activity. So this activity, to know the pulse or preparing a stethoscope using a matchstick. Okay, so we see that the pulse rate varies from person to person and situation to situation. So in the last activity, at rest and by after jogging, so the pulse rate varies from person to person, from situation to situation. So it is not constant. It is not a constant. When you are afraid or excited, the pulse rate goes up. So observe your pulse rhythm in other ways as well, such as climbing stairs, running, and there is a relationship between the pulse rate and the beat of your heart. Now let us try to find out more about this relationship. What relationship? Relation between the pulse rate and heartbeat. Now let us try to find out more about this relationship. For this, you have to make your own stethoscope. Okay, as I told you, a doctor wears the stethoscope to listen the sound of the heart, and even from back also, from ventral side, he will hear the sound of lungs also. Okay, for this you have to make your own stethoscope. Take a shut button, insert a matchstick as shown in the figure, like this. Okay, button and insert a matchstick and place it on your wrist. Observe the movements in matchstick. Okay, you should not touch it. You have to observe the movement. What did you find? When do you think that our pulse rate goes up? What does the pulse rate show? Okay, so there is an inner meaning you have to understand. So here, when the blood is pumped into those blood vessels, you will see more movement of that matchstick. Or when the blood is collected from the body parts, the pulse rate is less. Okay, so or when the heart relax, it is less movement. When the heart contracts, there is more movement. Okay, okay, let us go for the activity 3. So very interesting, all these activities under the supervision of your regular subject teacher you need to perform, so that you will understand better. So here a table is given. You go through the textbook. Okay, here before going to the activity 3, a information table is given. Do you know a newborn child below 3 months, the pulse rate is 100 to 150 more. Infants, means from 3 to 6 months baby, 9 to 120. And the infants 6 to 12 months, okay, below 1 year, the baby is called an infant. Okay, here we are 3 months the gap we are taking. Okay, infants 6 to 12 months age group, 80 to 120 times the pulse rate is per minute. The children 1 to 10 years, the pulse rate is 70 to 130, and the children over 10 years, you people, and adults, including the senior citizens, it is 60 to 100. This is approximately, exactly we can't say. Okay, 60 to 100 times in between per minute. And well trained adults, athletes, in well trained adults and athletes, the rate of heartbeat or pulse beat is 40 to 60 times controlled. Okay, so in a year 1816, a scientist, René Laennec, he discovered the stethoscope, okay, which is weighed by all doctors. Stethoscope was discovered by Laennec, Laennac, Laennec. So before the discovery of stethoscope, doctors used to hear heartbeat by keeping ear on the chest of the patient. Laennec found that paper tube helps to hear the heartbeat perfectly. Then he used a bamboo instead of paper tube to hear the heartbeat. Laennec called it stethoscope. Okay, now different modern stethoscopes we are seeing. Okay, so let us go to the activity 3. So let us repeat the work of Laennec. Make a paper tube of 10 inches. Make a paper tube of 10 inches long and 1 inch in diameter. Keep one end of it on the chest of your friend on a point 1 inch to the left side of the center, around 6 inches below his or her neck. This is the exact position of the heart. Okay, keep your ear at the other end. Listen carefully and count the heartbeats for a minute. Okay, also count down your friend's pulse rate. Note the observations of at least 10 students of your class, 10 friends, in the following tabular form. Here the tabular form is given. One example is also given. Number 1, Ishwa, heartbeat at rest per minute 72. Pulse rate at rest per minute is also 72. Like that, you can measure the number of beats per minute, heartbeat as well as the pulse beat. Okay, and make it in the tabular form. Okay, here see, per, here the time is taken and on the x-axis, and the number of beats taken in the y-axis in the form of graph. So let us plot a histogram graph of heartbeat and pulse rate of different persons as shown the sample graph. And here blue bar, blue color, represents the heartbeat, red bar indicates the pulse beat. And what is the relationship between the heartbeat and the pulse rate? So they are same. Can we say the pulse rate is always equal to the heartbeat? Yes. You might have studied there is a relationship between the pulse rate and the heartbeat. Okay, on the x-axis, name of the student, on the y-axis, heartbeat, pulse rate per minute is given. Okay, so this is the experiment to show that how you can measure the heartbeat and the pulse rate. Okay, next it is now try to understand the structure and method of working of this vital organ the heart. Okay, it is human heart. Our heart, we are trying to know about this human heart. Already we have basic knowledge. So let us here one activity is given. So this activity, if possible, it can be done in your school laboratory in the presence of your subject teacher. So here I am orally explaining. You imagine, let us assume, okay, it is the beat of the heart which keeps us alive. We know that heart is located in between the two lungs and protected by the rib cage. It's a vital organ. The size of the one's heart is its own fist. Okay, it is approximately the size of your fist. See the position of the heart here in the chest cavity or in the thoracic cavity. The heart is placed in between the two lungs, slightly towards the left side. Okay, and the size of the heart is our own fist size. Okay, to know the structure of structure, in order to understand the functioning, you need to understand the structure, because structure is related to the function. So observation of the internal structure of the mammalian heart. Here one example we have taken, goat heart, mammalian heart. So what are the materials required? Since the structure of all mammalian hearts are similar, we take the sheep's or goat's heart for our observation. For this we need following materials. What are the materials required? Freshly collected specimen of the heart of sheep or goat from the butcher, mutton shop. So we need soda straws, sharp and long blade or a scalpel, a tray, a jug of water, and the dissection scissor and forceps. These are all the materials which are required. They are present in your school laboratory. Okay, or all these materials you have to bring to the classroom. In the presence of your teacher, you need to observe. What is the procedure? Before coming to the class, wash the heart thoroughly so that the blood is completely drained from the chambers of heart. Next, take soda straws and insert them into the stumps of the blood vessels. Okay, here already the blood vessels are cut off now. Into the stems of these blood vessels you need to introduce the straws. Okay, note your observation as you proceed. How many layers are covering the heart? Okay, how many layers are present covering the heart? Now remove the layers covering the heart and observe. You can peel out with the help of forceps. You can take out and count how many layers. Okay, what is the shape of the heart? What is the shape of the heart? It is conical in shape. There are two layers you might have observed. Okay, then how many large blood vessels stumps are attached to the heart? Okay, we will see 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, then which end of the heart is broader and which end is narrow? Okay, so this end is broader and this end is narrow. Okay, what is the shape of the heart? Conical in shape, hollow in structure, muscular. Okay, these are all you will find out by doing the dissection of the heart. what is the heart is made up of? It is a muscular organ. It is hollow inside. Okay, it is connected with these blood vessels. Okay, children. So here observe the arrangement of blood vessels, that is coronary vessels on the wall of the heart. And in case you don't have the model or a heart, goat's heart, look at the figure given carefully for observation. Next let us study the internal structure of the heart. See the figure given here, internal structure of a human heart. Keep the heart in the tray in such a way that a large arch-like tube faces upwards. Okay, this is the ventral side. So actually the heart, keep the heart in the tray such that a large arch-like tube faces upwards, like this. Okay, this is the ventral side of the heart. Now take a sharp blade or a scalpel and open the heart in such a way that the chambers are exposed. Okay, so it is the transverse section. You are cutting the heart such a way that the chambers are exposed. Now take a sharp blade or scalpel and open the heart in such a way that the chambers are exposed. Okay, so now observe the internal structure. Observe the wall of the heart. Is the thickness of the wall of the heart uniform throughout? No. Okay, here see the thickness. The left side chamber is having more thick compared to the right side. So you can compare these two chambers, upper chambers and lower chambers. So here you will find so this image with labeled parts, you see the cut portion of the heart in the tray and try to identify this labeled part. Okay, so aorta is the largest artery which supply blood to all parts of the body, and this is the pulmonary artery which is divided into two branches, left and right. So this pulmonary artery carries the oxygenated blood, the blood which is oxygenated in the lungs. Okay, for the oxygenation, the deoxygenated blood is carried to the lungs by this pulmonary artery. Okay. Pulmonary, the term related to lungs, the artery which bring blood from heart to lungs for oxygenation. Next, this is vena cava. The vena cava, there are superior and inferior vena cava. So we will study about these blood vessels in the further. So now see the chambers. How many chambers are there? 4 chambers are there. Right atrium, left atrium, and right ventricle, left ventricle. There are 4 chambers. These chambers are separated from each other, okay, by means of septae. Okay, and there are valves are present in the heart. There are 4 valves are present. Okay, so let us study more in the next class. So here some questions are given. How many chambers are there in the heart? 4 chambers. Are all the chambers of same size? No. Are all the chambers are same size? No. Upper chambers are smaller compared to lower chambers. Next, what other difference could you observe between the chambers? So even those upper chambers also, left and right also, you will find the difference. One is large, right atrium is larger than left atrium. Okay, and left ventricle is larger than right ventricle. Okay, so how are they connected to each other? How are they separated? Okay, so these are all the things you need to observe keenly. You can observe the white colored structures in the lower part of the heart. Okay, note down the size, shape, and to which parts they are attached, and can you guess the function of these structures? See here, left auriculoventricular aperture, so white colored, right auriculoventricular aperture, it is a connection between the auricle and ventricles. Blood flows from here, the arrow marks are also given here, see. Okay, I hope you understood. Please read the textbook to clarify the doubts with the regular teacher. Watch the video repeatedly. Thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe our channel and press the bell icon for receiving latest updates.